Hey everyone, it's Kong again with another episode of Kong Plays Langrisser. Just gonna check out where the shinies are real quick here. It looks like there's one on the far left. The other one is right in the middle. Okay, so that one should be pretty easy to get on the way. So we're just starting Scenario 8, which is Pursuit. We have rescued Albert from Fort Ansel after having retaken Baldia Castle. And now we're chasing after the remnants of that Imperial army that was besieging him there. So I'm going to take phalanxes for Leaden, since they were such killing machines last time. And for Albert, this is his first battle. Let's just check who we're up against here. We got a couple swords. A couple of units of spears, one with phalanxes actually. Okay. Taylor's obviously going to take the guys on the rivers, or the lake, since that's the only place that he's useful. So I will give Albert the swordsman to take care of the spears, and I'll give Thorn cavalry to take care of the swords. And Leaden has the spear units covered, so we kind of have all our major bases covered here now. I'm going to put Narm on the far left so she can go treasure scouting, and Taylor on the lake so he can be in the only place where he's effective. And I'm not going to bother sending troops with Chris and Jessica this time because they will just clog up this area, I think. I can have Chris and Jessica kind of follow around and get into combat and cast spells whenever they have the opportunity. Oh, Zaldaf, smack-talking Bernoulli. That's the real reason we're going to hunt this guy down. Talking strategy here. Okay, one of the lose conditions is that Zaldaf escapes, so these guys are going to be hightailing it to the exit. I'm going to have to make sure they don't get there. First things first, it's easy enough for Taylor to get onto the high seas here and start chipping away at some of these wimpy little soldiers. We'll make sure we get as many of these lizard men into the water as we can. Into Taylor's fairly generous command aura now that he's a Serpent Knight. There, and that opens up a spot for this lizard man to come in and take out this other guy. So, good start. Now we'll send Narm up this way. Once I get up there, I think I'm just going to send one Harpy over to the left to grab that treasure that's in the mountains, and I'll just use Narm to try to kind of stay in front of the enemy forces to slow them down or get in their way if they do really start to make a quick retreat. So before I go ham on all these guys with my phalanxes, I'm going to get a little bit of experience for Albert here. Don't want to risk him getting too far behind. Although it was kind of my strategy in the original Warsong to basically just heap all the experience I could onto Leaden and Chris, because once Leaden was kind of unkillable in that game, he carried the rest of the team. So we'll get the phalanxes into the action here now. Look at that huge command aura on Leaden. If phalanxes had cavalry mobility, then this would be all over. Speaking of cavalry, let's start chipping away at this northern unit up here. Fairly standard opening salvos. Chipping away and taking out a couple stray straggler troop units. Nothing too special. Now see, Jessica's pretty useless in combat like that, but the annoying thing is you can't move them and then cast spells, so really I'm just doing this to get Jessica and Chris into range where they can start doing something useful. And actually, on a map like this, if the enemies are actually going to be running, which it doesn't look like they're doing right now, they're kind of sticking around to fight, so I will be able to get a couple combats in at least. Who doesn't want some of this thorn? So they didn't really get too much done on their phase. Okay, this is where the retreat is going to begin, I guess. Now that he knows all of his little strategic trickery isn't going to slow me down. Taylor's so great in the water, and I find it funny that they include just this little pond for him to fight in to make him feel useful on the rest of this giant field. So I think I'm going to be able to take this guy out. Good. I could have probably killed his last troop with Jessica and Chris, but there's plenty for them to share right now. So grab a longbow out of the main central plains here. Albert is certainly pretty good on his own. His troops leave a little bit to be desired. Hopefully when I get him ranked up a little bit, he'll be able to hire some better troops. I'm not sure yet what the second tier of swordsmen are. Like Ledden has these phalanxes, and they're a big improvement over the initial spearmen, so if it's a similar jump for cavalry and swords, then that'll be nice. Kind of struggling with mobility up here, the best way to take out as many of these troops with Thorn as I can. Oh nice, we got that guy. So it's just their horse commander left. And I want to kind of start aggressively moving Ledden up, just in case these front phalanxes do start to really book it. I want to be able to make sure that I can keep up with them. Okay, and it looks like my phalanxes are a little bit stronger than his phalanxes too. That's good, because otherwise that could be a tough unit to put a dent in. So, I know these Kong Plays Langrisser videos have been kind of slowed down a little bit. And partly, I mean, everyone's kind of going through the same thing, which is a weird kind of online long-distance togetherness experience where, you know, we have this, you know, developing global situation, I guess. I just got set up to work from home this week, so a lot of my time that I would normally be spending relaxing and playing Langrisser and making these videos has kind of gone into getting a home office ready and doing some extra busy work that comes with that. But hopefully I'll get back into the groove of things and get back into a more relaxed schedule. But yeah, a little bit behind on playing further scenarios in this game. But we all kind of understand, I think. Everyone's life has been disrupted in some ways by this. Just gonna send one Harpy over here to sneak into the mountains, and grab that treasure while Narm continues her mission of basically... I don't want to suicide her into these phalanxes, but I am going to just kind of badger them to make sure they don't get too far ahead of the rest of my army. But yeah, just to a final note on that last thing I was talking about. If not having as much time to play a video game is the most of our concern, then I think we're doing pretty good over here at the Kong residence. But definitely sending my thoughts out to everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. I was debating the idea of putting up an Animal Crossing video on April Fool's Day, pivoting my channel to only Animal Crossing content from now on. I couldn't bring myself to do it though. The risk of it being too close to true. It's kind of a strategy game in its own way. So I might as well get some use out of Taylor's aquatic soldiers against these kind of weakened guys before things start to get out of hand. Yeah, these phalanxes are just destroying even against type. So yeah, this is where I thought that Chris and Jessica would run into trouble, with the enemies now running away, so each enemy turn they're going to be moving away from us. It's going to be hard for them to actually stay in range to cast their spells, because they have to be stationary to cast, so they really need enemies that they can get in range and then the enemy doesn't move away again. So we'll see if we can hold them up here. I don't know if Narm is going to be too effective. Oh, classic Lance again. I thought that might be too easy. So Lance and his goons are here to support Zaldaf's retreat. So, and it's funny, he looks like he is... Oh no, he is going to attack Narm's harpies. I thought he was going to try to just run right past. So Zaldaf, the commander himself, might try to run right past. Uh-oh. Oh no, my scout harpy! Oh, Lance is gonna go get my treasure. Oh, that's actually gonna be annoying. I'm gonna have to redeploy someone off in that direction to try to grab that treasure now before this scenario ends. Because if Zaldaf is hightailing it to the exit, I'm on a time limit now. Let's see. Probably gonna have to crash through Lance's army too to get to that treasure now. Fortunately, Ledin and his phalanxes are exactly the people for the job. So let's get them over to the left as far as we can. It's funny because Lance is actually a very effective distraction. My units that I can actually devote to going after Zaldaf, with any hope of taking him out, are fairly limited. So we'll move Taylor's guys over here as well. Might as well take advantage of the lake another time, while we can. Oh, I forgot there's still this lonesome little swordsman here. Good chance for me to cast these spells. I probably should have considered attacking with Thorn first so that one of the casters could finish that guy off and get the experience, but... yeah, this treasure's a little far away for Narm. Still, I have to send someone in. It doesn't look like a great trade. Even just phalanxes against a command unit. Still, hopefully this is enough to get in his way. I'm actually just going to wait there because that Harpy was already hurt. I just want to block him a little bit, slow him down while the rest of my army heads up. I'm not actually worried about Lance being dangerous to my army. The only real problem with Lance is that he's in the way, and he's going to take up time. At least they don't look like they're concerned with taking my treasure. And Zaldaf, as planned, didn't really make much headway there. He just kind of moved around Narm's units. The downside is Narm's units aren't really equipped to stay in his way right now. Oh, that's just awful. There, that's the man we need up here. So, charge in at Lance. This is one of the great things about Leden's immense command aura, too, is I can basically charge these guys in as far as I can. And they'll still be at full power. Thorn's units are going to be of limited use, I think. They have high mobility, but it's just regular horses against regular horses. I don't dare try to attack the phalanxes with those guys. But maybe they can get in the way. Zaldaf actually doesn't have very much far left to go. And Lance is really going to bottleneck this whole canyon. I'm kind of hoping Zaldaf gets up to the top little corner area and then stops to gloat for a couple turns, maybe? I'll go ahead and bring Leden's guys right into this enemy area, and hopefully Lance will turn around and come back to aggro on me. Since we're here, I might as well just send one of those phalanxes the rest of the way over to get that treasure, too. They have pretty good mobility. So Taylor will come up as well to support this charge into Lance's area from the south. And Albert can keep up his good work against these phalanxes, since he's pretty much the only unit who can. I want Narm to actually be able to do something useful, so this is a weak phalanx she can finish off. And it's worth a level. So, let's see if these regular troops can actually do much. That was pretty pathetic against an already weakened phalanx, so I think Albert himself is going to be the only prime actor against those guys. I mean, Leden could take them as well, but he's not really in that fray right now. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to get worried about Zaldaf's progress. Letitia's just gonna give me some experience. Easy. Lance singing Beatles songs to her. Alright, so this is going to be my treasure hunting phalanx. The rest are going to come north with Leaden. As north as we can. Again, to try to entice Lance and Laius and the rest of his horses to get out of the way of the rest of my army, really. We'll get Thorn up here into the mix. Okay, so Lance's troops aren't as strong as my troops. That's good. I can get some use out of these regular little horsies. Finish a phalanx off with one of my weak little soldiers so that Albert can be put to better use against a strong phalanx. That actually was not very good, though. I'm going to start putting some chip damage on Zaldaf just in case I have to try to finish him off in a hurry, since he's clearly really making a break for the exit, and Narm might be the only one up there who can keep up with him. So it looks like I have about 2 turns left. His next turn should take him onto the bridge, and then the turn after that, he'll get to the escape area. So yeah, Narm literally is the only person up there who's in the running right now. Fortunately, on my next turn, I'll grab this treasure, which is really the main goal of the scenario. Grab both treasures. It's quite a messy little area. Try to clear up some horses with these stray phalanxes. And we'll start making an emergency charge up here with Thorn and his troops, since they are my other high mobility units. Anything that I can throw in front of Zaldaf at this point. Getting Laius out of the way down here will make it a bit easier to bring everyone straight up. Alright, Narm is going to go stand right in front of the bridge. I don't know if I should attack this guy, because she's already kind of hurt, and if Lance decides to aggro on her, then that could be bad. So I'll just stand in front of the bridge. Make things a little bit more difficult for Zaldaf's retreat. So those phalanxes aren't even attacking Narm. Albert might be in rough shape against Lance's horses, though. First things first, grab this Kite shield. That should be good. I imagine that's a straight improvement to the great shields that I have already. Now, it doesn't look like my phalanxes are unfortunately going to be able to really get into the game here. So we'll have to put Thorn to good use. That's actually some good mobility from Taylor outside of the water. Maybe that's not as big of an issue in this remake as it was in the Genesis game. There we are, someone in range for Jessica to pick off. These These lizards are unfortunately just a little bit too far away to do much. We can save Albert from these horses, though. Keep the charge, keep the pressure on, though. Take out another phalanx. Not that it really matters if the phalanxes get away, since it's all about Zaldath. So, I imagine his mobility is terrible on the water, so I'm just going to keep Narma on the bridge to give myself an extra turn or two. If she can delay him long enough, I'm probably going to be able to get Taylor and a couple lizards onto that little river under the bridge, where they can be useful again. So it looks like we have Lance and one Lance horse. Yeah, let's see if we can rush over here and get onto the water. Albert's going to put a dent in this phalanx. Might as well finish off with Narm. Pretty sure that guy's not going to be able to... no, that means he can attack that first red escape spot, but he can't stand on it. So as long as he doesn't do anything stupid, though, this is kind of my last... Well, this turn and then the next turn after he moves will be my last opportunities to hurt him. So anyone who can is going to rush the bridge, because we're going to need to concentrate our attacks on him next turn. Everyone else, who's slowly catching up, can chip away at Lance. These guys are doing surprisingly well considering how far away from Taylor they are. That's just lizard power. Now, if I can get my phalanxes up here, then Lance should be really toast. Oh, phalanxes. Okay, here we go. Ooh, barely survives Lance. And I can't blast him from there, but I'll move her up. Might as well heal for some free experience, since she's obviously not going to be doing much else from way down here. Should really be healing almost every turn if I can. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Pretty much no way to stop him now. I will attempt to hog this last bit of experience for Chris. Excellent. She really needs it. Get some more free experience from healing down here. And then to focus on the endgame. What can we do? Gonna go in with Thorn first since he's on type. He has the advantage against the swordsman. Oh good, Taylor can reach on the water. Narm can actually get in front of this guy and surround him. And that's enough to do it. And even if she hadn't finished him here, if we had boxed him in, then that would have given us next turn as well to finish him off. So that is a nice kind of nail-biter ending to Scenario 8. I probably didn't need to let it get that close, but I wasn't really expecting Lance to show up with his reinforcements, and I was just kind of goofing around a little bit at the start, playing with the enemy to get some free experience, and just sending one lone troop off to get the treasure. So thanks for watching Scenario 8, and I will catch you all next time with Scenario 9.